My parents laughed when I lost everything. Not comforted me. Not helped me. Not even asked if I was okay. They laughed. My mother covered her mouth like she was trying to hide it. My father did not even bother. He leaned back in his chair, shook his head, and said, "Maybe this will finally teach you to stop thinking you are special." That was the night I slept in my car. That was also the night I decided they would never get another chance to humiliate me again. My name is Nathan Miller. 3 years ago, I was 29 years old. I had a small apartment, a decent job, a used car, and a dream that everyone in my family treated like a joke. I wanted to build my own online business, nothing fancy at first, just a small digital marketing service for local contractors. Roofers, plumbers, electricians, people who were great at their work but terrible at getting customers online. I had spent 2 years learning everything I could. Search engine optimization, paid ads, landing pages, email funnels, sales calls, client onboarding. I worked my regular job during the day, then worked on the business at night. Most nights, I slept 4 hours. Sometimes less. My parents thought it was ridiculous. My father was a traditional man. He believed real work meant a uniform, a boss, and a paycheck every 2 weeks. Anything else was gambling. My mother believed success only counted if other people approved of it. A title, a nice office, a company badge, a boss who could tell relatives you were doing well. So when I told them I was building something online, they laughed. At first, it was small. Little comments at dinner. "How is your little internet thing going? Still playing businessman? Maybe one day your laptop will pay rent." My younger sister, Chloe, laughed with them. Chloe was the favorite. Always had been. She was charming, pretty, social, the kind of daughter my mother loved showing off. She had dropped out of college twice, quit 3 jobs in 1 year, moved back home more times than I could count. But somehow, my parents always had an excuse. Chloe was finding herself. Chloe was sensitive. Chloe needed support. When I struggled, I was irresponsible. When Chloe struggled, she was misunderstood. That was the family system. And I was stupid enough to keep trying to earn a place in it. Then everything fell apart. It started with my job. The company I worked for lost a major contract. Within 2 weeks, layoffs began. I was one of them. I remember sitting across from my manager in a glass conference room while he explained that it was not personal. Budget cuts. Restructuring. Difficult decisions. The usual corporate funeral speech. I walked out carrying a cardboard box with my mug, a notebook, and a framed photo of a mountain trip I had taken alone. I was not panicked at first. I had savings. Not a lot. But enough for a few months. And part of me thought maybe this was the push I needed. Maybe I could finally build the business full time. That was what I told myself. For the next 3 months, I worked harder than I had ever worked. I sent cold emails. Made calls. Built free audits for businesses. Posted content every day. Studied competitors. Improved my offer. I got a few small clients. Not enough to survive. But enough to believe I was close. Then my car broke down. Transmission. $4,000. I paid it. Then my landlord raised the rent. Then one client canceled. Then another ghosted me after I finished the work. By the 5th month, my savings were gone. By the 6th month, I was behind on rent. I tried to find another job. Nothing came through. Too experienced for some roles. Not specialized enough for others. Every rejection felt like another door closing. Finally, I called my parents. I did not want to. I sat in my car for 20 minutes before dialing. My hands were shaking. My pride was already bleeding. My mother answered. "Hi, honey," I swallowed. "Mom, I need to talk." She could hear it in my voice. To her credit, she sounded worried at first. "What is wrong?" I told her everything. The layoff. The failed clients. The rent. The car repair. The fact that I might lose my apartment if I could not come up with money in 2 weeks. There was silence. Then she sighed. Not a sad sigh. A disappointed one. "Oh, Nathan." 2 words. And somehow, they made me feel 12 years old again. My father got on the phone. My mother must have put me on speaker. So the internet business did not work. I closed my eyes. I am still working on it. He laughed. A short, sharp laugh. "You are still working on it? Nathan, you are about to be homeless. I just need a little help. A loan. I will pay it back." "How much?" $3,000. My father laughed again. This time, louder. In the background, I heard Chloe say, "Wait, is he serious?" Then she laughed too. My face burned. My mother said, "Maybe this is a blessing. Maybe now you will stop chasing fantasies." I gripped the phone. "It is not a fantasy." My father said, "You lost your job, burned through your savings, and now you are asking us for money. What would you call it?" I did not answer. Because at that moment, I did not have the energy to defend myself. Then Chloe said something I will never forget. Maybe he can sell online courses on how to fail. My father laughed. My mother whispered, Chloe. But she was smiling. I could hear it. I said quietly, never mind. My mother changed her tone. Now, do not be dramatic. Too late. Something inside me had gone cold. My father said, I will tell you what. Come home for dinner tonight. We will talk about realistic options. I should have said no. But I was desperate, so I went. That dinner was the lowest moment of my life. My parents had invited my uncle, my aunt, and Chloe's boyfriend. They said it was a normal family dinner. It was not. It was a public trial. I sat at the table while my father explained my situation like he was presenting a case study in stupidity. Nathan lost his job. Then decided instead of getting another one, he would play entrepreneur. My uncle chuckled. My aunt looked uncomfortable. Chloe rolled her eyes. My mother said, we warned him. I sat there, silent, humiliated, hungry, exhausted. My father continued. Sometimes people need to hit bottom before they learn. Then he looked directly at me. Maybe this will finally teach you to stop thinking you are special. That was when they laughed. All of them except my aunt. Even Chloe's boyfriend smirked. My mother covered her mouth, but she laughed too. I stood up. My chair scraped loudly against the floor. The laughter stopped. My father frowned. Sit down. I looked at him. No. His face hardened. Do not start acting like a victim. I nodded slowly. You are right. That confused him. I pushed my chair in. I am not a victim. I am a lesson. My mother blinked. What does that mean? It means one day, you are going to remember this dinner. Chloe laughed. Oh. Please. I looked at her. You too. My father stood. Where do you think you are going? I picked up my jacket. Anywhere that is not here. My mother sighed. Nathan. Stop embarrassing yourself. I smiled. For the first time tonight, I am not the one embarrassing myself. Then I walked out. No one followed me. That night, I slept in my car behind a closed grocery store. It was cold, uncomfortable, humiliating. I used my jacket as a blanket. My phone battery was at 12%. My bank account had $38. I stared at the roof of my car and replayed the dinner over and over. My father's laugh. My mother's face. Chloe's joke. Maybe he can sell online courses on how to fail. At 3 in the morning, I opened the notes app on my phone. And I wrote one sentence. I will never ask them for anything again. Then I turned off my phone to save battery. The next morning, I started over. Not emotionally. Not spiritually. Literally. I called an old coworker named Marcus. He was the only person from my previous job who had ever taken my business seriously. When he answered, I did not pretend to be fine. I told him I needed work. Any work. He was quiet for a second. Then he said, I cannot offer you a job. But my cousin owns a roofing company. His website is terrible. Can you help him? I said yes before he finished the sentence. That became client number 1. A small roofing company outside Indianapolis. They paid me $600 to rebuild a landing page and set up Google Ads. I slept in my car while doing the work from a public library. I showered at a cheap gym. Ate peanut butter sandwiches. Charged my laptop wherever I could. The campaign worked. In 10 days, they got 17 leads. 3 became booked jobs. The owner called me and said, can you do this every month? I said yes. He became my first retainer. $1,200 a month. Not enough to fix everything, but enough to breathe. Then he referred me to a plumber. The plumber referred me to an electrician. The electrician referred me to an heating, ventilation, and air conditioning company. Within 4 months, I had 6 clients. I rented a tiny room in a shared house. The carpet smelled like old smoke. The walls were thin. The bathroom sink leaked. But I had a bed, a desk, and a door that locked. It felt like a palace. I worked 18 hours a day. Not because I loved hustle culture, because I was terrified of going back to that grocery store parking lot. Every time I felt tired, I remembered my father laughing. Every time I wanted to quit, I remembered Chloe's joke. Every time a client rejected me, I heard my mother say, maybe now you will stop chasing fantasies. So I kept going. 6 clients became 10. 10 became 15. I hired a freelance designer. Then a copywriter. Then a part-time assistant. I built systems, templates, reporting dashboards, call tracking, client onboarding, everything I had wanted to build before I lost everything. By the end of year 1, my business made more money than my old salary. By the end of year 2, it made 4 times more. I moved into a real apartment, bought a reliable car, paid off every debt, built an emergency fund. And still, I told my family nothing. They tried reaching out occasionally. My mother sent texts. Hope you are doing okay. Your father misses you. Chloe asked about you. I never replied. Because I knew what those messages really meant. They did not miss me. They missed access. They missed the version of me who absorbed disrespect and returned for more. That version was dead. Then came the article. A local business magazine did a feature on small companies helping blue-collar businesses grow online. One of my clients recommended me. I almost said no. I hated attention. But my assistant said it would be good for credibility. So I agreed. The article came out on a Monday. The headline was simple. From car sleeper to seven-figure agency owner. I hated that headline. Too dramatic. Too personal. But it worked. By lunchtime, the article had been shared hundreds of times. By evening, my phone was full of messages from people I had not spoken to in years. Old coworkers, college friends, former clients. Then, at 8:17 in the evening, my mother called. I stared at the screen. Mom. For 3 years, I had imagined this moment. I thought I would feel angry. I thought I would feel nervous. Instead, I felt calm. I let it ring. Then the voicemail came. Her voice was soft. Careful. Nathan, honey. I saw the article. Your father and I are so proud of you. Please call me. Proud. That word almost made me laugh. They were not proud when I was sleeping in my car. They were not proud when I was begging for a loan. They were not proud when I was building the foundation. But now that strangers were applauding. Now they were proud. I did not call back. The next day, Chloe texted me. Bro. You are famous now? Laughing out loud. We should catch up. I blocked her. 2 days later, my father called from a different number. I answered. Curiosity. Nothing more. Nathan. His voice was older than I remembered. Yes. It is Dad. I know. Silence. Then he cleared his throat. I saw what you have built. Okay. We always knew you had potential. I smiled. There it was. The rewrite. The lie people tell when your success makes their cruelty inconvenient. No, you did not. He went quiet. Then said, do not be like that. Like what? Bitter. I leaned back in my office chair. I am not bitter. You sound bitter. No. I sound unavailable. He exhaled sharply. Your mother is hurt that you will not call. She laughed when I asked for help. That was years ago. It was the night I slept in my car. Silence. Heavy silence. Then he said, we did not know that. You did not ask. He had no answer. So I continued. You did not ask where I went. You did not ask if I had somewhere to sleep. You did not ask if I had food. You laughed, Dad. His voice softened. We were trying to teach you responsibility. No. You were enjoying being right. He snapped, that is not fair. I almost laughed. Fair? I looked around my office. At the framed first client contract on the wall. At the team working outside the glass door. At the life I had built from nothing. Fair is not calling me after strangers praised me and pretending you believed in me all along. He breathed hard. Then came the real reason for the call. Chloe is going through a rough time. Of course, there it was. Not apology. Not love. Chloe, what happened? She and her boyfriend split. She has some debt. Credit cards. Car payments. She needs help getting back on her feet. I closed my eyes. How much? $25,000. I laughed. I could not stop myself. You called me for $25,000? She is your sister. She laughed when I lost everything. She was young. She was 26. People make mistakes. I stood and walked to the window. Down below, the city lights glowed. 3 years earlier, I had slept in a parking lot with $38. Now my father was asking me to save the daughter who mocked me. No. His tone changed instantly. Nathan. No. Do not punish your sister because of the past. I am not punishing her. I am refusing to fund her. Family helps family. That phrase used to control me. Now it just sounded cheap. I said. Family does not laugh when family is homeless. He was silent. Then he said coldly. So money changed you. I smiled. No, poverty changed me. Money just gave me distance. Then I hung up. For 2 weeks, they tried everything. My mother sent long messages. She said she cried after reading the article. She said she regretted being too hard on me. She said I misunderstood their intentions. Not once did she say, I am sorry. I laughed. My father sent one email. Formal. Stiff. He wrote that successful people should remember where they came from. I deleted it. Chloe created a new account and messaged me. Must be nice to act better than everyone now. I blocked her again. Then, 1 month later, my parents showed up at my office. I saw them through the glass entrance. My mother looked smaller. My father looked uncomfortable in a suit he probably had not worn in years. Chloe stood behind them, arms crossed, sunglasses on her head like she was annoyed to be there. My assistant came into my office. There is a family here asking for you. I looked past her. Saw them. Then said, let them in, not because I wanted reconciliation. Because some doors need to be closed face to face. They entered my office slowly. My mother looked around like she had stepped into a museum. The framed client wins. The conference table. The team outside. The company logo on the wall. For the first time in my life, she looked impressed by something I built. That should have meant something. It did not. Nathan, she said. Mom, she hugged me before I could stop her. I did not hug back. She pulled away. Hurt. My father shook my hand. Firm. Performative. Impressive place. Thank you. Chloe glanced around. So this is what internet failure looks like? She meant it as a joke. No one laughed. Not even her. I gestured to the chairs. They sat. I stayed standing. My mother started. We wanted to see you. No. You wanted something. Her face fell. Nathan. Let us not waste time. My father leaned forward. Fine. Chloe needs help. Chloe rolled her eyes. Dad, he ignored her. She is in debt. We helped as much as we could. We are stretched thin. I looked at Chloe. Do you have a job? She scoffed. I am between things. Of course. How much debt? She looked away. My father answered, $32,000 now. I laughed softly. It grew. My mother said, interest. No. Avoidance. Chloe snapped. Wow. Okay. So you are just a jerk now? I looked at her. No. I am the same brother you mocked when he had nothing. The only difference is now you need something. Her face reddened. I was joking. You were laughing. She crossed her arms. You act like you are the only person who has ever struggled. I stepped closer to the desk. No, Chloe, I act like I am the only person in this room who was laughed at for struggling. My mother started crying. We handled that night badly. I looked at her. Say it. She blinked. What? Say what you did. She looked at my father. He stared at the floor. I waited. Finally, she whispered, we laughed. At what? Her tears fell. When you lost everything. And? When you asked for help. And? She could not speak. So I finished it. And then I slept in my car. My mother's face crumpled. Chloe looked shocked. Maybe she had not known. Maybe she had never cared enough to ask. My father said quietly, we did not know. I looked at him, because you did not follow me. The room went silent. Outside my office, phones rang. Keyboards clicked. Life continued. Inside. 3 people who once made me feel worthless finally had to sit in the truth. My mother whispered. I am sorry. It was the first real apology I had heard from her. And strangely, it did not fix anything. I nodded. I believe you. Hope flashed in her eyes. But I am still not giving Chloe money. The hope died. Chloe stood. Unbelievable. I turned to her. Is it? You have more than enough. Yes. Then why not help? Because you do not want help. You want rescue. She scoffed. What is the difference? Help requires accountability. Rescue lets you stay the same. She looked away. I opened a drawer and pulled out a folder. Chloe's eyes lit up for half a second. Maybe she thought it was a check. It was not. I placed it on the desk. This is a list of debt counselors. Job placement services. Budget templates. And 3 companies I know that are hiring entry-level administrative roles. Chloe stared at it. What is this? Help. Her face twisted. I need money. No. You need a life that does not collapse every time someone stops funding it. My father stood. That is enough. I looked at him. No, it was enough 3 years ago. He froze. I continued. You do not get to walk into my office, ask for $32,000, and then act offended when I offer accountability instead. My mother wiped her face. Can we at least start over? I softened slightly. Not much. No. Her tears started again. Why? Because starting over would require pretending the past is gone. It is not gone. I built on top of it. I looked at each of them. You taught me something valuable. You taught me that I could survive without you. Chloe grabbed the folder. Not because she wanted it. Because she wanted to throw it. But she did not. She just held it tightly. My father looked at me with bitterness. I do not recognize you. I smiled. That is because you only knew the version of me you could shame. No one had anything to say after that. They left 10 minutes later. My mother hugged me again at the door. This time, I let her, but I still did not hug back. After they left, my assistant asked if I was okay. I looked around my office. At the team. The computers. The contracts. The life I had built from a parking lot and a dying phone battery. Yeah, I said. I am. 6 months later, my company passed $2 million in annual revenue. We moved to a larger office. I hired a leadership team. Started a scholarship fund for trade school students who wanted to build service businesses. That became my favorite part. Helping people who reminded me of who I used to be. Hungry. Overlooked. Mocked. Capable. One of the first scholarship recipients was a 19-year-old named Louis. He wanted to start a landscaping company. His family told him it was stupid. When he told me that, I smiled. Not because it was funny. Because I knew exactly how powerful that sentence could become if he survived it. I told him, let them laugh. Just do not let them define you. He nodded like he understood. Maybe he did. My relationship with my parents never fully recovered. My mother texted occasionally. I replied sometimes. Short messages. Polite. Boundaried. My father never apologized beyond that day in the office. Chloe took one of the jobs from the folder. To her credit, she kept it. She never thanked me. But my mother told me she was paying down her debt. That was enough. 1 year after the magazine article, I bought a house. Not a mansion. Not some ridiculous trophy. A quiet place outside the city with tall windows, a home office, and a backyard big enough for a dog. On the first night, I sat on the floor with takeout and remembered the grocery store parking lot. The cold. The shame. The $38. The laughter. Then I looked around at my empty house. And smiled. Not because I had proven them wrong. That felt good for a while. But it was not the real victory. The real victory was that their opinion no longer mattered. My parents laughed when I lost everything. Then they called me proud when the world started clapping. But I learned something between those two moments. People who only respect your success do not deserve access to your struggle. They do not get to mock your foundation and celebrate your building. They do not get to laugh at your lowest point and stand beside you at the finish line. And they definitely do not get to call it family when what they really mean is convenience. I became a millionaire. Yes, but money was not what changed my life. Self-respect did. The night I slept in my car, I thought I had lost everything. My job. My apartment. My pride. My family. But I was wrong. I had not lost everything. I had lost the illusion that people who shared my last name automatically loved me well. And once that illusion was gone, I was free. Free to build. Free to fail. Free to succeed. Free to choose who deserved a seat at my table. My parents laughed when I lost everything. And years later, when I had more than they ever imagined, they finally stopped laughing. But by then, I was no longer listening.